It's time to get back to looking at the buffoons of 2023. Let's remind everyone how this all works. There will be 11 categories of buffoon throughout this event, based upon the categories in my best-selling, award-winning book, Schnooks, Crooks, Liars, and Scoundrels, A Field Guide to Identifying Political Buffoons, which, by the way, is available right now on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, and other online bookstores. Cheap plug, I know, but hey, that's how we roll. Our beautiful and lovely guests will nominate buffoons for each category. Just about anyone is eligible for nomination, with the exception of President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Because let's face it, if they were to be nominated, they dominate just about every category, and we can't have that now, can we? It takes a majority of our guests voting for a particular buffoon to win that category. Buffoons can win in multiple categories, and each winner goes on to compete throughout the end of the year for your vote as Buffoon of the Year. The next award we're going to be talking about is what I've dubbed the Egotist. Now, this is a politician who seemingly has a little bit of talent, but their own arrogance and their own audacity get in the way of their policies or get in the way of their own behavior, or for whatever reason, someone who otherwise has shown promise just becomes a complete and total buffoon. The best example I can give for this in a modern sense is Michael Avenatti.
Flashback.
From famed attorney to disgraced defendant, Michael Avenatti appeared in Manhattan federal court Monday on a side he's not accustomed to, as an accused extortionist, and then he walked out on bond.
I am highly confident that when all of the evidence is laid bare in connection with these cases, when it is all known, when due process occurs, that I will be fully exonerated and justice will be done.
End of flashback.
Think about Michael Avenatti and his meteoric rise in 2019 and 2020, only to have just as meteoric a fall following that election where he's now in the pokey. He's now in jail. When Brian Stelter was out there saying he was a serious contender for president in 2020, but his own arrogance, his own audacity took him down. So in this respect, you can pretty much put any politician we've talked about thus far in this category, because every politician we've talked about has won an election and gotten into office and then done something stupid. But there are some just monumentally stupid ones out there. I like to think of, because she lost the mayoral race for Houston, Sheila Jackson Lee, to me, is the ultimate egotist. I'm sure she thought she had this in the bag. I'm sure she thought with the endorsements of Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi that endorsed her in this race, that she was going to run over any other Democrats out there, let alone Republicans. And then a certain audio tape came out of her speaking badly to her staffers, especially poor, what she called fat-ass Jerome, and all the stuff that he wasn't doing.
I gave it to you. Your job was to get it on the calendar, imprint it in your brain, or send me the information back saying, Congresswoman, I made sure that the Ovi Duncan-Tell event that you gave me for so-and-so date at 7 is on the fucking calendar. Not to, Jerome has it. Okay? So when I called Jerome, he gonna be sitting up there like a fat-ass, stupid idiot talking about what the fuck he doesn't know.
Jerome. Why bring Jerome into this? What did Jerome do to deserve that? Oh man, poor Jerome. I feel bad. This being leaked out on a call, Jerome sitting somewhere in an office, hearing this, doesn't know about it. Maybe someone told him about it. Oh, poor Jerome.
Okay? Both of y'all are fuck ups, a fucking F. It's the worst shit that I could have ever had put together.
That was uncalled for.
Well, okay, but whose fault is that, Congresswoman? You put it together. But I think Jerome got a little bit of revenge in watching Sheila Jackson Lee go down in flames in this mayoral race, Rick. Now, I know that Sheila Jackson Lee isn't someone that you would think normally is being talented, but she's been in office for so long that I think everyone thought she was just going to win this race, and then she didn't.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, everybody just kind of assumed she was going to walk away with it, and then this audio comes out, and everybody's like, "Holy crap, she really is the bitch we thought she was."
And apparently, Brad, this was an open secret among most legislators in the capital area, that they just know, oh, that's just Sheila being Sheila. She's a bitch to her staff, and she treats everybody poorly. But yet she has been reelected, and this open secret has been kept so well for 20 years that she keeps being reelected to office over and over again. What is the deal with that? How do we explain that? Is this just a dinosaur who just got reelected because of incumbency, or did the 24-hour news cycle finally catch up with her?
I think there's two things that insulate her from any kind of accountability. One, she's a Democrat, and two, she's a female person of color. And these are just pretty much double shield for most people once they get elected, because the Democrats are going to just circle the wagons regardless of what you do. And then anybody that raises anything approaching criticism, you're sexist, you're racist, that kind of thing gets trotted out. So she gets away with this as a result of that. But the voting box is something a little different. The media will cover for you. The media is going to, shield anything from getting out into the public if they don't want it to. But once something like this is exposed to voters, then they don't have to be as paying as much heed to the party once it gets down to that. It's like, no, you don't do this. I'm voting elsewhere. So I think that's what basically happened, is once that little nugget of truth actually got out, even though it was well known in Washington, once it got out to the electorate, they said, yeah, we're not putting up with that crap.
I think so as well. And Rachel, it also didn't help, by the way. I'll let you react to this little bit of news. One of her last campaign ads had the wrong election day date. So she was telling people to go vote on December 7th when her election was on December 9th.
Houston needs a champion who's ready to fight for what's right, and I am.
And December 7th was not even an early election date. So nobody was able to vote on December 7th, despite like $1 million ad going out on the airwaves telling people to go vote.
It's such a great vindication for anyone who's like had a crappy boss that is cruel because of their incompetence. Like, it just is like, this comes out that she treats her staff horribly, and then she puts up the wrong date. I mean, it's just the irony. Like, it's so perfect.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. I want to let everybody know how amazing Rachel Citak is. Because Rachel not only is a great show host with her own show, Attorney at Law, Advocate at Heart, but she is also the president of the Right to Life of Greater Cincinnati. Rachel, I'm bragging on you, but I need you to brag on yourself a little bit. I know it's hard to do. Talk about all the great work you do in Cincinnati.
Oh, thank you so much, Gene. Well, Cincinnati Right to Life exists to help build a culture of life in our city and in our state. We are pro-women, we're pro-family, we're pro-life, and we truly just hope to uphold and affirm and empower mothers and women in our city and in our state. I'm an attorney and I serve as the president of Cincinnati Right to Life. I also have a law firm. And if any of your listeners would like to follow me, they can find me on Instagram at Attorney Advocate.
Absolutely. Check her out. There's an entire website, CincinnatiRightToLife.org. You talk about becoming an activist. You can check up on the news, see who these people are. And if you're not in the Cincinnati area watching this, find your own local organizations, these grassroots organizations out there, where you can get involved with the issues that you're passionate about as well. Rachel does a great job being an advocate for Cincinnati Right to Life and fought the good fight in Ohio, despite what the voters did there as far as the state constitutional amendments for pro-life rights and all of that. I'm butchering this right now, but Rachel fought this fight. She was the woman in the arena for all these fights, and I personally couldn't be any more prouder than I am of her, of everything that she did. Just amazing work on the front lines, and now you're here talking about buffoons, so it's got to be a full circle moment, right? I mean, it's the same thing. There's one governor from New Mexico, Michelle Lujan Grisham, who made some news earlier in the year. I covered this on my channel as well, about how she was looking to ban the open carry of guns in New Mexico, despite laws allowing people to open carry. And she basically said that she knew that what she was ordering to occur was against the law, but she was still doing it anyway.
I also have to have the ability, I can't arrest everyone. There are literally too many people to arrest.
Well,
this would allow us,
if someone's got a concealed carry permit in Albuquerque walking down a public street, they're not going to get arrested.
That's not the way to handle things. And it's a great follow-up question as well, talking about, you can't arrest people that have permits. Of course you can't.
I can make the point that maybe they should be.
You're a fucking idiot. This needs to stop now.
What? This is insane. And this earned her a lot of backlash, not only from right-wing media, Brad, but also from the left wing as well, because she was making them look bad.
Yeah, that's that's always the uncomfortable reality when the press, which I cover, they just love to put up any defense they can for the left, but once one of them crosses a line to this degree, it just gets turned back on them so easily. All you have to do is say, wow, you're the people that say there aren't double standards in the law. There's not two levels of legality in this country, and yet this is taking place. And that's pretty much stopped everybody in their tracks to the point that they had to call her out. You could almost feel them gritting their teeth as they did it, but it was so blatant that, yeah, they had to at that point say, you know what? Okay, yeah, you did cross a line here, honey. And it hurt them, but they finally did it. So that should be an indication of just how far she went.
Right. There was a more watered down version of that. I think it was like you can't open carry in public spaces like parks and things like that is where it ultimately turned out to be. But still, this is someone that presumably was a darling of the left and then ended up being called out by her own people. Rick, is this a new tactic of the left that they're going to take the most extreme point they possibly can and then be dragged back by their own people? Because we saw a lot of that this year.
I don't know if it was intentionally a new tactic, but it's definitely what's happening. I will say that. But I think it's because the left has always been great at pushing the envelope, though. That's pretty much what they've always done. And we give and give and give, and so they keep pushing and pushing and pushing. The problem is, I think now they've outkicked their coverage because even their base is like, what? No, we know. You come back over here. We're still back. We're here. You're way over there. We need you here. So I think that's what's happened. I think the fringes of the left have gone so far into the fringes that the regular left-leaning people are like, WTF, man, come back over here. What are you doing over there? I'm going to get a shot caller for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know, Rachel, you've been so busy in the field, basically, that maybe this, I don't know if you caught this story or not, but talk a little bit about your experiences with activism on the left going so far off the rails in 2023.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times that you have these politicians that end up overplaying their hand. Things seem to be going well. They may be in a very blue district or a blue area, and they say something that's asinine, and they expect that the very loud fringes will be in agreement with them, and that somehow reflects majority or the base, and it just often doesn't. But what happens is that what ends up happening is that these politicians that say these outlandish things, I believe, end up functioning as a test subject. They're able to toss out these very far left ideas, and it's almost like a case study for the party to see how the public responds and if it's something that can be leveraged into a platform for the next election. And so I think that on the right, we need to be not letting any crisis or PR fumble or any misstep go to waste either. Be looking at how the public responds to those instances, because it's just a free study in how the electorate is truly responding to that issue or that platform.
That's correct. Well put.
That's a tremendous point that you're raising right there. And in thinking about that, it got me thinking about a lot of the trial balloons they'll put up in the form of these district attorneys' offices, these district attorneys, these pro-Soros attorneys, the Soros-backed attorneys in different areas. You have Pamela Price in Oakland, who's looking at a recall right now because she's been so soft on crime that the NAACP locally there wrote a letter saying, "Oh, what the hell are you doing? You need to stop being this way." Oakland residents are sick and tired of our intolerable public safety crisis that overwhelmingly impacts minority communities. Murders, shootings, violent armed robberies, home invasions, car break-ins, sideshows, and highway shootouts have become a pervasive fixture of life in Oakland. We call on all elected leaders to unite and declare a state of emergency and bring together massive resources to address our public safety crisis. African Americans are disproportionately hit the hardest by crime in East Oakland and other parts of the city. And the same can be said about crime in every major city within the United States. But residents from all parts of the city report that they do not feel safe. Women are targeted by young mobs and viciously beaten and robbed in downtown and uptown neighborhoods. Asians are assaulted in Chinatown. Street vendors are robbed in Fruitvale. News crews have their cameras stolen while they report on crime. PG&E workers are robbed and now require private security when they're out working. Everyone is in danger. You have Jason Williams, the DA in New Orleans, who was driving in his car with his elderly mother and was carjacked by someone that was released early on bail for a violent crime. So he got to experience that firsthand. And then you have Kim Gardner in St. Louis, who let the DA's office get so bad that the office couldn't make all the appearances on all the violent crime cases that were in court already, to the point where she was about to be censured by the courts for failing to adequately do her job. But she ended up quitting because she decided she'd rather become a licensed nurse rather than be a DA anymore. She literally stopped working at the DA's office to take classes to become a licensed nurse. So, yes, these trial balloons that Rachel's talking about are happening all over the country, and a lot of them seem to be failing, Rick.
Well, thank God they're failing. Let's just be honest, because I think they have started the whole canary in the coal mine approach. Let's just throw it out there, see what sticks, and see if we can run with it or not. And thank God, it seems like a lot of people are starting to wake up. I think honestly, what started the shift was COVID. Everybody on both sides reached way too far with COVID. And after the first month or so, people just started going, no. But no, this is not how things are going to be for forever. I don't care what you say. You said 2 weeks. I mean, we joke about that all the time on KLRN radio. Stacy and I started a morning show, specifically the Kung Flu Spew, the one that scrolled across earlier. Mm-hmm. That was specifically started because I got sent home and was told I was going to have to work from home for 2 weeks. I didn't want to change my schedule. So I got up early and did a morning show for what was supposed to be 2 weeks. We did it for 2 years. Because I was still working from home when I retired from my previous job, because they tried to change the entire face of how we did everything. And they just got stupid with it. Like, well, when you stand up to leave the table, you have to make sure your mask is on. But when you're sitting down to eat, go ahead, because everybody knows COVID only comes up to about 5 foot. Once you're below that 5 foot threshold, you're fine. But
wait. So if that is true, and I think everybody knows where I'm going with this.
Okay. Go.
If that is true, that means you should have been safe the whole time, right?
Not when I stand up. I'm 5'9" when I stand
up.
There was still that strike box.
Nobody believes you. Maybe 5'9" on a soapbox. That's about it. But speaking of trial balloons,
5'9" in heels, but that's.
Yes, and they were very pretty heels. There was the red on the bottom of them. I saw them. So listen, we have.
What happened to what happens at CPAC stays at CPAC, G?
Oh, yeah, I did violate that rule then, didn't I? So it's time to choose, unless anybody has any other nominees, and feel free to put them out right now if you want to.
I have one,
I'm game.
Stacey Abrams, but does she count for this year? Maybe that. Am I thinking this year or last year? I think that was last year. Never mind. She was still in the news cycle this year, though. So.
Okay, so we can now.
Stacey
So Rick,
Abrams should always win.
oh, see, she saved you because you just put yourself up for nomination. But anyway, just follow along here, will you? Anybody else have any other nominations that they want to bring up? Either personal vendettas, private stuff. I don't care. It's all up to you guys if you want to.
It's now or never, Gene.
I mean, we are talking the egotist. I nominate Gene.
Listen, I got broad shoulders. I can take it. Sure. No problem. After all, I did put this show together. I have been doing this for a couple months now, and people, we got over 1,000 people that have come to subscribe this year alone. So yeah, my ego's pretty freaking big right now. I'm all about thank you, Ray. Thank you. I deserve and egotism if you can back it up, right? Damn, I'm good. So I'll throw myself in there. Rachel, you can start us off with the voting. Who you got for the egotist of 2023?
Can you run through the nominees one more time?
Sure. So the nominees that we have thus far are the New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, Sheila Jackson Lee, all the DAs I rattled off, Pamela Price, Jason Williams, Kim Gardner. You can throw me in there as well if you want to, or you can go rogue and pick whoever else you want.
I'm going to go with Sheila Jackson Lee.
All right. Brad, you're next. Who you got?
I'm going to lean on Grisham. I think she pushed things to the extent that you're getting the left to come after her. That's pretty significant to me.
Okay. Rick, I dare you.
Even though I nominated you, you're not getting my vote. I'm going with Grisham because
I lost another election. Dang it. I'm going Sheila Jackson Lee, and we have an impasse right now because it is 2-2.
So what are we gonna do now?
So here's the way we can handle this. Because this has happened on other shows as well. We can either do co-winners and have them both win and both be up for Buffoon of the Year, or we can fight it out amongst ourselves. We can try to bribe each other. We can make promises to each other for other things, monetarily or otherwise, whatever you want to do. Or, like I said, we can have co-winners. So how do you guys want to handle it?
I don't care enough about either of them to fight over them.
Okay.
The left says that everyone gets an award, so I say co-winners.
Okay. I'm good with co-winners.
I'm good with co-winners. Everybody needs a trophy.
Yeah, they're Democrats. Participation trophy time.
It's a participation trophy. Everyone gets one.
Sheila Jackson Lee. My God, they both have 3 names. And Michelle Lujan Grisham are the egotists for 2023. Great job, guys.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.